I bought this handsome little chap from eBay to haul my Rio Grande passenger cars. It's got everything. It's got the weight. It's got the power. It's an Athearn all-wheel drive. What it doesn't have is windows and lights. Hello YouTubes, this is an Athearn F7A in Rio Grande farm. I did completely strip this down and clean the motor and service it and lube it all up. Runs great, but as you can see, no windows, no lights. Well, it's got a bulb, but it's like set away back there, doesn't really do anything. So we're going to upgrade to LEDs in the front, a little red LED in the back just for fun, and hook it up to its coaches and finally have a proper Rio Grande Loco and passenger coach set. Let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is remove the coupler, because you just know that that will get snapped off through all this. Put that somewhere safe. Now we can remove the shell. Athearns are just so easy to work on. And the shell's off, just like that. Big chunky weight. Now, I did add this little wire to replace the power bar. Those big giant blobs of solder were not me. In fact, I don't even think I did this job. I might replace the wire, but I did not put that amount of solder on, especially not over the brush. But it seems to work, so let's not fix what's not broken. As you can see, this is a much older style Athearn with the older motor. So although it runs really good, it doesn't go down hills very well. It kind of speeds up a bit too much. So for that reason, I don't think I'm going to be converting this to DCC in the future. But we can at least make it look pretty in DC format. First thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to get rid of this big bar. This will be the ground for the bulb, or for the for the LED lighting. So I'll be taking a ground feed for that, probably right at the front. I'll maybe leave that much there, so I'm going to cut this much off. We don't need all this nonsense. Get my big snippers. Let's see, let's bend it out the way. And we can give it a right good snipping. In fact, I could just, let's just actually remove this whole thing without cutting. And then we can always put it back in the future. So it's just got a sort of pressure fit in there. Slides out. Just bend that back up. Not getting in the way. And we can solder our ground directly to that for our LEDs. Okay, I was just thinking about how I'm going to wire up the rear LED, because I don't have a grounding point back here. That's your positive, goes to the positive of the motor. That's positive, goes to the positive to the motor. And with Athearns, it's grounded through the chassis at the bottom of the motor. Other than that, you have this for the lights. That's all that's for, is the ground for the lights. So I might have to run a wire all the way to the back. As much as I hate the big blobs of solder, it does work, and the wires are quite new. I think I did replace them. Right, on with, I think we'll start with the windows, because if I start putting LEDs in here and then try and put the windows in, the wires will probably get in the way. So let's take care of the glass first. I'm going to be using some of this, and I'll just be cutting it to shape to fit there, that side and that side. There's already glass on the side windows for some weird reason. There's not one in the back, so I'll do a wee square for the back as well. Right, let me cut them to shape, and then we'll glue them all in. So that is my glass installed. As you can see, I have a bit of glue overspray, or whatever you call it. But the good news is, I don't care. It's not a new loco. If anything, it just adds a bit of natural aging. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Right, let's see what we can do with LEDs. We have this giant empty hole here. And I thought about doing something a wee bit different and maybe putting a yellow bulb in the bottom. Maybe use it for reverse, although not that one because it's too big. Unfortunately, I think the next one down is going to be too small. Yeah, it's going to be... Nah, that's going to look goofy. What to do? I don't want to be widening holes. Let me try a white one. I think the white one's going to be the same size, to be honest. Oh, that's annoying. I suppose I could just set it back a little bit, or I could widen the hole. Don't really want to do that either. That's very frustrating, to be honest. I was also thinking of taking this lens out and putting a bulb in, but I think that hole is the same size as that hole, so that's not going to work either. Let's find out. Let's poke this lens out. I think it comes out that way. Doesn't want to come out. It's obviously glued in. This is not going to plan at all. Let's see now. What can we do then? Okay, I can just put a single bulb behind that lens and it'll still be plenty bright, but what on earth am I going to do with that big gaping hole? Yeah, so this little 3mm bulb will just, I can just hot glue that in there. And that'll be fine for the top light. What am I going to do down here? Struggling. I haven't actually came across this problem before. Normally these bulbs are just the right size. Let me think about that. I'll reconvene in a minute. Also waiting for that glue to set. Okay, I've concocted a plan. Not concocted, that's a different thing. Right, okay, I'm going to use 2 of these 3mm bulbs. First thing, obviously, anytime you install an LED, make sure it works first. That one works. That one works. Right, here's my plan. I'm going to put one bulb in for this lens, but I figured I may as well try and keep them both the same size, then it'll be the same brightness. So first thing, I'm going to glue this one in place. I'm going to bend these ends, legs, I suppose you could call them. Bend them up because I'm going to be connecting them to the next bulb up. So the positive side is on that side, and it'll be connecting to the negative side on the next bulb. It'll work in series. Eventually there'll be an LED, sorry, there'll be a resistor in there. Getting all my worms mixed up to do. Just got to make sure I'm leaving enough room. So I think what I'll do is bend it in a bit closer. Like so. Glue it in there and hope that I can join the other 2 legs to these. Right, give me a sec. Get some hot glue in there. Oh, I didn't tell you the rest of my plan. I'll tell you that while I'm waiting for this glue to dry or harden. So for the other one, the smaller bulb, I'm going to put a big splodge of glue in there and then push the bulb through the glue carefully, keep it centered, and hopefully it'll seal the gap that it's going to leave around it. That's the plan at least. Right, so the main headlight bulb is in. And I said the positive was that side, so I need the negative on this side, because I'll just be soldering them together, or at least one of them will get soldered together. Yeah, this isn't going to work. I need to bend these legs out the way for now. I'm not sure how many times I can bend those legs before they just break, because I'm going to need room to get my fingers in there, or tweezers, or whatever. Okay, so that one is going to, that leg's going to attach to the positive of that side. This side is not. This will be getting attached to a wire. I'm talking way too much. Let me just get on with this. Oh, I didn't mean to touch the glue, because I want to keep it as round as possible. The only downside is this glue will set cloudy. But that's okay, it'll add a slightly different tone to the lighting at the front. Because it looks nice just like that, but it's not going to stay like that. That one's going to go cloudy. So far it's not too bad. Okay, so I need to connect that leg to that leg. This would go to positive, that one, the lower one would go to negative in an ideal world. And obviously I need to add a resistor so I don't pop them all. I also need to figure out how I'm going to run the backlight. You know what, I'm not even going to put a backlight on. There's no point, it's going to be pulling carriages anyway. You're not going to see this loco on its own, reversing. So once that glue is fully set, I'll bend that leg down to meet that leg, solder them together, add a wire from there to the positive and from there to the negative, and that will be that LED done. Okay, I'll bring you back when I'm ready to solder. So it occurred to me that I could actually try and peel off the glue off the front of the lens, and then it would still be shiny underneath. This could be a complete disaster, or it could work out perfectly. Knowing my luck, complete disaster. Nope, that's not working. I've messed it up. However, I like that idea, so I think I will persevere with that and just try and get glue around the edge, and then I won't have that cloudiness. Right, I'll bring you back when I've got 100% success. Right, it took me a couple of attempts, but I think I've got it centered there. And it's only sticking out a wee tiny bit. Don't know if you can even see that. That'll be fine. Right, for the inside then, I'm going to attach a positive leg to a negative leg on one side, and then the other two legs will be going to a positive negative wire on the loco itself. Right, let me trim the wires or the legs down a little bit, and then we will get working on the wiring for the loco. Right, I temporarily wired up the resistor in order to test the direction. So the wire that the resistor is on is the one that needs to go to get the ground, and this needs to go to the positive. So obviously they're way too long at the moment. Let's trim that down. I need enough room that I can solder onto the chassis, but also not too much room that there's nowhere to put the wires. So let's see, what have I done with the loco? Oh, still on the track. So this is the front, that's the front. This will be going to there. This will be going to there, I suppose. So to be honest, they can both be roughly the same size. So let's go with, because that can get pushed up there once it's in. But I do need, yeah, I need a decent amount of room to. I think what I'll do with the resistor side is cut it quite short and have the resistor tucked away up there. In fact, I'm going to solder the resistor on right down inside there and tuck it round there. Keeps that out of the way. So let's do that. Cut that nice and short. And if I keep it really short, I won't even need to add heat shrink tubing like I normally do, because it'll be away around there. There's nothing going to interfere. Right, let's get this on. So a bit of flux on the leg coming from the LED. Need a bit of solder on my iron. Oh, I nearly touched my, well, actually I did, I touched my soldering iron against the body of the Loco. Can't do that, it will melt because it's plastic. So that's my resistor on the top LED, so I'll tuck that round there. Let's see, actually let's cut down the resistor side as well. It doesn't need to be so long. And we will solder this wire onto the other side of the resistor. And then we'll tuck it out of the way. Careful not to touch the body. Okay. So now I have got the ground wire on the resistor tucked down there. Tell you what I might do actually. I think I'll put some hot glue just to cover that up. And then I won't need heat shrink tubing. Yeah, right. Meanwhile, while the glue gun's heating up, trim this down, strip these. Tin them up. So they're ready to get soldered on. The Loco is not though. I could do with a wee clean. Now I do need to turn up the temperature on the soldering iron to solder to this. For obvious reasons, because it's a big chunk of metal, and the same for that side there. Right, need to get some flux on there, and I'm going to be using this as the earth, so I need some flux on there. Get some solder on there. A little bit in the front. Still not hot enough. Okay. Right. Loco is ready to receive the shell. So, oh, glue, 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 glue. Protect the resistor. Okay. Give that a minute to cool down. That should do it. Protected. Right, resistor is going to this one. More flux, please. And the other wire is going to there. Yeah, I think I've made that just the right length. Long enough that I've got access, short enough that it's not going to get caught up in the workings of the loco. So, can put it together. Oh yeah, that's quite nice actually. And the reason I've used black wire is you don't really see it through the windows. Although you can't really see anything through the windows because the super glue has reacted to the plastic again. I might redo that, we'll see. There's a lot of ladders in this, have you noticed? Lots of things to break. Oh, I forgot to put the big gigantic weight on. Which is crazy because it's already pretty heavy. I just hope I can still get I can still get the weight on. Oh, tell you what I need to do though. I need to replace that bit of tape that I took off. I think I will actually use proper Kapton tape, whatever, electrical high temperature tape. Just a little bit over there. Just to prevent that big gigantic weight from hitting all that gigantic blobs of solder. Well, that doesn't stick. Maybe that's why they had electrical tape on it. So I'll just put some more electrical tape on it, since it seemed to work. That'll do. Lovely. Right, let's get this back on. Careful with the ladders. Forgot to put the big giant weight on again. I'm losing my mind. This is because I'm going on holiday in a few days and I'm just kind of preoccupied. I'm just wondering, yeah, it has to go that way because otherwise that will stick out through the window. And we are almost done. Just got to put my coupler back on. You know what, I think this has to go on before the shell. I'm actually amazed I got it off with the shell still in place. Yeah, because it has to get... Oh, that's been broken. That wasn't me, by the way. Yeah, okay. Right, shell, back on again. Oh, that wee ladder's trying to break. Did you see that? Right, we're finally done. Let's get to the track, see how it looks. Are we on? Wow, it's quite wobbly. Not a lot I can do about that. It's probably because it's so heavy. Right, let's see what these lights look like, if they work. They're nice and bright. So much nicer. Let's bring it back, make sure I've not broken anything. I do love the Athearns. They're not the quietest locos in the world, but they're so smooth. A wee bit flickery there. I wonder why that's happening. Maybe just not quite enough voltage. Maybe the resistor was a wee bit too high. Once it gets to a bit there, it's fine. I know it looked like the lights went off there, but that's just a frames per second thing with the camera. Looks fine there. Okay, it is time to hook it up to all its lovely coaches. Now, I know it looks like I'm in my basement in Canada, but I'm actually in Scotland, eating haggis and searching for the Loch Ness Monster. So I may not reply to your comments very quickly. Don't worry, I'll be back soon. Not that you care. So, take care everyone. Let's have a victory lap, and I'll see you when I get back. Bye for now.